Yes, the Conference of Chaos. We might as well make some money off of it. It's time for your best bets. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. On today's show, let's give you your best bets. Drake, it's Wednesday. Best bets are usually reserved for Thursday. What are you doing? Well, because of Thanksgiving this week, we're releasing the Squad Show tomorrow night, where all the Big 12 hosts get together and talk about the madness that is coming up this weekend and how we should handle it. My dog wants to make an appearance. He is sniffing the microphone right now. You know what? Mentally, that's where I am. Mentally, I am at allowing my dog to sniff the microphone during the middle of a show. He's the most doodle that it gets. That's where the Big 12 is right now. Why not add him into the fold? My first best bet of the week. Give me BYU minus 12.5 against Houston. What? Why? Houston's not very good at offense. They just fired their offensive coordinator, though they did promote friend of the program, Sean Bell, former China Spring Cougar football star and coach at Baylor University, to their new interim OC. However, analytically, bad. Why would I ask the computer, by the way? Why would I ask college football insiders what's going to happen in the Big 12 when usually whatever anyone says about anything just goes opposite? I don't know, but here we are. BYU defensively 21st against the run, 15th against the pass. Houston throwing the football 93rd in the country, running the football 111th. That is bad. Final projected score per the computer is BYU 32, Houston 16. That covers 12.5. Give me the Cougars getting it done at home in a game that could mean something. You're rooting for a lot of teams and a lot of scenarios and a lot of things this week, BYU fans. But the number one thing you have to do is just win the game ahead of you. Yes, coach speak. Even I fall victim to it. BYU minus 12.5. My second best bet of this week, minus 16.5 against Oklahoma State for Colorado. They're playing this game in Boulder. While the computer would only barely agree with me here, I'm going to side with the Buffs because they have been playing, I don't even know, man, better football until last week. And then Oklahoma State just seems non-competitive. Though the offense was very good last week. Colorado's defense is what has made its absolute is what has made Colorado an absolute wreck in the Big 12, like a wrecker, like they're wrecking things for other people, not like they're not themselves a wreck. They're like verb. 46th against the run, 28th against the pass defensively. Those are two things, running and throwing, that Oklahoma State cannot do. And the Oklahoma State defense is 98th against the rush, 102nd against the pass. While the computer says Colorado 40, Oklahoma State 23. I foresee this being more like 34-17. Colorado winning, covering 16.5 at FanDuel right now. That is my second best bet of this week. Take the Buffs. Take the Buffs. They're playing it at home, and a Big 12 championship's on the line, and it's that Friday game, so they want to showcase in front of the country. Hey, we got two guys that can win the Heisman Trophy. They should both go to New York. They both play in the Big 12. Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Thank you very much. My third best bet, TCU at Cincinnati, minus 2.5. If I ask college football insiders the efficiencies, who should win this game, they would actually tell me Cincinnati by 0.7 points, which I don't know how much college football you've watched. That's impossible. You cannot win a game by 0.7 points. They would have Cincinnati winning by, if you rounded up, one singular point, 31-30 final against TCU. I don't think that's going to happen. Cincinnati has not been playing very good football, and one thing the computer can't really account for is the give up once your team is in a hole. While Cincinnati wants to go to a bowl game, I don't foresee, because of TCU's ability to throw the football, and Cincinnati's pass defense just isn't there yet. They're 21 spots behind TCU when you compare the defense of Cincinnati to the offense of the Horned Frogs. I don't think, even though the Horned Frogs defense has been pretty bad, I don't think there's enough oomph to get Cincinnati over the hump and win the game this week. Now, me, Big 12 guy, hello, I should be rooting for Cincinnati to add more bowl teams into the fold for this conference. It makes us look way better. But I do think overall TCU will win this game against the Bearcats and move themselves into 8 wins, which was mean, like a few weeks ago, I'm like, wow, okay. They've won 4 of 5 already right now. They're a much hotter team aside from that Baylor game, who's one of the few teams that's actually been better than TCU here recently. I think the Horned Frogs are maybe a top 7 or 8 squad, top half of the Big 12 team for sure. And that shows this weekend on the road against Cincinnati. Hope it's a good crowd. Maybe, question mark. Hopefully. I'm going to go Utah plus 8.5 at UCF. The Italian Stallion, baby. I don't know. They have like a million quarterbacks they've rotated through. And at this point, I'm going to toss them a bone. I think Utah gives UCF a game. And so does College Football Insiders. Efficiency-wise, here's why. Utah's defense has been good. Pretty good. Defensive success rate is 9th in the country. That's solid. UCF offensively has struggled a good bit. They are 59th throwing the football in the country, 3rd running the football according to their offensive success rate. That's not very bad, but Utah's rush defense, eye test wise, has been solid. Analytically, they're not great. And then we know the UCF offense is going to run the ball. And so I'm just asking Utah, hey, guard the run, please. Then for the Utah Utes, they just run the ball. Just run the football. Put Dorian Singer back there. Just give it to him every down. I don't even care. Computer says 29-25. Final score, UCF wins, but they don't cover 8.5 in this conference game. We have way too many one-score games in the Big 12. Come on. You're yanking my chain. Then Arizona, plus 9 against Arizona State. Yep. I'm going to do it. I really do have a hunch in this game. Having now been given the history of how Arizona didn't want Arizona State to be a university. They wanted to be the only university in the state. And here's where the rivalry began. And here's how it had. Okay. It's a good rivalry game. And one that I do believe Arizona not only puts up a fight in, but covers 9. The computer says Arizona State will win by 10, but the computer can't read that this is a rivalry game. A road game for Arizona State. I am worried there won't be a lot of Arizona fans there, and there will be a whole lot of gold at this one. That I'm worried for Arizona's sake. And Arizona State has graded in the top 20 in 3 of 4 major categories. That would be offensively, running and throwing, and defensively against the rush. They are top 20 in the country. But they're 100th in the nation on 3rd and 4th down success. And that's not very good. So if their defense can't get off the field on late downs, and we know Arizona on late downs can do something because their offense is so pass-based, I think Arizona State might have a hard time, especially if this turns into a shootout. I do believe Arizona covers 9. BYU minus 12.5, Colorado minus 16.5 against Oklahoma State. TCU at Cincinnati minus 2.5, Utah at UCF plus 8.5, Arizona versus Arizona State plus 9. Those are your best bets this week. Those are brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is the number 1 sports book in America, which is a very large country, by the way. And America's number 1 sports book is a proud sponsor of the Locked On Podcast Network and an official partner of the NFL. Get ready for the NFL. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. You get a hunch in the middle of a game? Go to FanDuel. Check out the latest stats, live play-by-play, and more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. That is FanDuel. Visit them today. Squad show tonight. We're going to talk a whole lot about sports-ish. Maybe? Question mark. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.